Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We give thanks Almighty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made fasting compulsory on every Muslim and every Muslimah and has also made it easy for those who are unable to fast and has exempted them from what? From fasting in this month of Ramadan. We give thanks to Him, we adore Him. We beseech the blessing and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companion, and those who follow his righteous paths to the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Ameen. Muslim brothers and sisters in Islam, as you all know, we are in the month of Ramadan, and we are fasting in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Almighty Allah to accept all our salat, our zakah, and all our acts as an ibadah for us, and He should not deprive us of the rewards. Ameen. Inshallah, today I'll be taking us through the conditions that exempt a Muslim from fasting in the month of Ramadan. Like Allah said in the Holy Quran, Quran 2, verse 184, Allah said, أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى. Allah said the days that we ask you to fast are limited. Whenever we see amongst you someone who is ill or someone who is a traveler, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He has given the opportunity for the person to leave Ramadan, to postpone it to other days except from the Ramadan. Now, here are those that Allah has exempted from what? From fasting in the month of Ramadan due to the illness or traveling that has been with them. Allah said, Ayyaman ma'dudat, faman kana minkum maridan aw ala safar. Allah has categorized these two people that are sick and the travelers under those who He has exempted from from fasting in the month of Ramadan. And He said He has made feeding the poor an excuse for those who are old age and that cannot fast. So these are the people that Allah has exempted from fasting. Firstly, Allah said that if you're a traveler, number one, as a traveler, Allah has given you opportunity to leave fasting for another days except from Ramadan. But what will make you have this reward? What will make you have this opportunity of not fasting in the month of Ramadan as a traveler? Number one, the distance you are traveling must be long enough for you to shorten your salat. I mean the salat to pray in for you to shorten it into two. That's number one condition. Number two condition is that this traveling you are traveling must not be a sinful traveling. That you are traveling in the cause of Allah, not traveling to go and commit sins. Meaning, for instance, someone who is traveling to go and commit fornication and adultery in the month of Ramadan, Allah has not given the person opportunity because the act the person wants to go and commit is a sinful act. So because of this, the person has not been exempted, or the person will not be exempted from fasting on that day, in the month of Ramadan. And again, the journey must be long, because there are some hadiths that say that if you are traveling from one country or one state to another, there are some states that they are very close. This will not give you opportunity that because I'm going from here, I'm going to Abeokuta, which is very close to Lagos, and I'm saying you are leaving Ramadan. No, that's not what Allah said. Allah said those that their journey is is a distance long journey. For instance, someone that is going from Nigeria to Niger or from Lagos here to Kano, he does not know how the climate there works because the temperature of Lagos to Kano, the sun there is more hotter than the one in Lagos. So because of this, the person is allowed to leave Ramadan for another day. One of the conditions is also that the travelers must not have the intention of settling there, meaning living there, abiding there. The traveler must have the intention that he's coming back home, because if the traveler have intention of settling there, having a home there, that means where he's going to has become his residence. So stopping or exemption of Ramadan will not be allowed for him since he's settling there. But if he's not settling there, if he's not abiding there, maybe he wants to go and do a job or something and he's coming back home, yes, he's allowed. But if he's settling there, is mandated on him for him to fast in the month of Ramadan. Those are the rules and regulations guiding a traveler that is exempted from what? From fasting in the month of Ramadan. Like Allah has said, our Allah suffer if you're what? If you're a traveler. Traveler means someone that will not stays in one place from one country to another, from one state to another. Not someone that is settling there, that is turning that where he's traveling to a home. So if he's turning to a home, then what? The exemption is not for him. But when he's coming back home, if he's coming back leaving that position, then the exemption is what? Is for him. Those are the rules guiding a traveler. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to reward us. The second category who Allah has exempted from fasting in the month of Ramadan are the sick people. They have been categorized under sick people. There are a lot of people under the sick people which have been categorized under the sick people. Number one, we have someone who is sick medically, like someone who has ulcer or chronic malaria or something like that. And other, they categorize a menstruating woman under sick people, a woman who is breastfeeding or who is pregnant under sick people, someone who has attained old age and the children. Those are the 5 people who are categorized under under sick people. Number one out of them is someone who is sick medically. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it easy and has made it soften for someone who has chronic illness. Those who are suffering from ulcer, as an example, if he knows that this disease or this illness will cause harm to his body if he fasts. So it is allowed for him to leave Ramadan. It's allowed for him to leave the fasting till another day, which he can fast the Ramadan, which he can return the fasting. That was the first reason as a sick person why you were exempted from fasting in the month of Ramadan. If you're having a chronic disease, it might not be ulcer, it might be other disease that you know that if you fast, your health will be damaged, or it's to worsen the condition of your condition medically. So you are exempted from for fasting in the month of Ramadan. That's number one. Number two is is a menstruating woman or a female. Allah has said in the Holy Quran that menstruation is impurity. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allah tayyib, that Allah is pure, and He will not take anything except from something that is pure. So this menstrual cycle or this menstruation of female, Allah has categorized as something impure. Due to this, Allah has exempted them. The way He has cancelled salat for them whenever they are having menstruation during the times they are not in Ramadan. Same is applicable to them when they are in the month of Ramadan. When they are having this menstrual cycle or when they are in this condition, they are meant to abstain from fasting in the month of Ramadan. This is what Allah has ordained them and mandated on them because they are in stage of impurity. And for them to make them pure, they have to be done with the menstrual cycle. After then, they take their bath. After their bath, then they are now in a pure position where they are now allowed to fast in the month of Ramadan. But when they are doing in this period, Allah has made it easy for them to leave Ramadan and not to fast Ramadan in this time in the month of Ramadan. Due to their impurity, that's why Allah has made it. But a female who is not in this condition is allowed to fast. You are not sick, you are not menstruating, then it's mandatory, it's a must for you to fast. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained and has commanded us. Next, the pregnant woman. A pregnant woman, they are categorized into 2. First, we have people that when they are pregnant, they have strength, they have the ability to fast. And some, they become weaker due to the pregnancy. So, if a pregnant woman knows her condition, that if she fasts in the month of Ramadan, that is going to affect her medically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has exempted her from fasting. There are some pregnant women that says, yes, I'm capable, I can fast. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His rahmah, in His abundant rahmah, has made it easy for human who are what? Who are in the what? In the stage of pregnancy. Allah said they should what? They should leave Ramadan, they should leave fasting till days after what? After Ramadan, when they have given birth, that they have the strength or the ability and capability to fast. Allah has given them the what? The opportunity to live what? To live fasting in the month of Ramadan due to the condition they are, which is what? Which is the pregnancy that is holding them, that is not giving them the ability and the capability to fast. Or probably there are some human that if they are pregnant, probably they'll be on drugs, going to antenatal and every other things. So these are the things that are stopping them from not fasting. So with that, and the drugs that they are meant to take with that, fasting has been what? Fasting has been what? Has been left for them. They have been exempted from fasting in the month of Ramadan due to this what? The condition they are. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا, as he has said. He said it in verse 184 and verse 185. While he was saying, شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ الَّذِي أُنْزِلَ فِيهِ الْقُرْآنُ هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ فَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى السَّفَرِ. Allah said it again. He mentioned it twice. فَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى السَّفَرِ. So he's emphasizing, he's telling us that whosoever does not have strength or weakness in one way or the other, as what? Has made him abstain or made him abstain from fast. Allah said those people will not be punished. As I was saying, one of them is what? A pregnant woman. If the state of pregnancy brings nothing but weakness to woman. So due to this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has what? Has made fasting not compulsory on them till the days, those days that they will have strength and capability to what? To fast, those ones they have what? They have missed in the month of Ramadan. Moving on. Those who Allah has exempted from fasting, one of them is also a breastfeeding mother. A breastfeeding mother, we all know that she needs to take in something or she needs to consume something in order for her to feed her infant or her child. If she knows that she does not have the strength, the capability to fast during the month of Ramadan, due to the feeding of the child, she should what? She should leave Ramadan during the month of Ramadan. And she should fast it other days except from Ramadan, which she knows that she has the opportunity, she has the ability and capability to fast it. Because most breastfeeding mother, it's a must, it's compulsory for them to what? To take in food or to take in something liquid or solid for what? For the manufacture of the what? Of the breast milk for the what? For their children. So due to this, Allah has what? Allah has exempted them. Allah has distinguished them from what? From fasting in the month of Ramadan. Simply applicable to the what? To the pregnant woman. The way they are exempted, the breastfeeding mothers too, they are exempted from fasting in the month of Ramadan due to the issue of what? Of breastfeeding their children. So it's a must, it's compulsory for them to breastfeed their children because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said from the mouth of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that your wives should what? Should feed your children for 2 good years. They should breastfeed them for 2 good years. And the act of breastfeeding goes a long way. So due to this situation, due to this condition, they have lack of strength. So they have to consume food that will give them what? That will give them strength for them to what? For them to feed their children. So due to this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has exempted them as freedom of fasting in the month of Ramadan till other days where they have the opportunity and the capability and the capacity to fast the one they missed in the month of Ramadan. Moving on. Another condition that will exempt you from fasting in the month of Ramadan is old age. Old age or senility is a situation whereby someone has lost strength due to the longevity of lifespan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has exempted those who has attained a certain age that weakness has occupied their body and they cannot fast during the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that if they cannot fast, that they should what? They should feed the poor each day during the month of Ramadan. They are exempted from fasting, but it is compulsory for them to feed someone who can fast in the month of Ramadan for the days the person is going to use to fast during the month of Ramadan. If Ramadan is 29, they will feed the person for 29 days, and if it's 30, they will feed the person for 30 days. So Allah has made it easier for them. Not that they will not fast it, not that they are going to fast it back. No, they won't fast it back because they have attained the age of senility. Probably they are already closer to their grave, or weakness has what? Has occupied their body. Due to that, their own the way they are going to fast back is that they are going to feed those who are less privileged, who are poor, that cannot feed themselves during the month of Ramadan. Meaning, the food they will take in iftar and the food they will take in sahur, they are going to be feeding them every blessed day for the whole month of what? Of Ramadan. If Ramadan is 30, they have to feed them for 30 days, and if it's 29, they are going to feed them for 29 days. Those are the what? That is the settlement, or that will be in substitute for those who are attained the age of what? The age of senility, meaning the old age, that they cannot fast due to the weakness that has what? That has occupied their body. Allah said that they should what? وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةُ الطَّعَامِ. Allah said, those who are what? Who has attained the age of senility, يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةُ الطَّعَامِ, that they should feed those who are what? Those who are less privileged, those who are what? That their pocket is empty, those that do not have what? The ability, the capability to feed themselves during the month of Ramadan, but they are also Muslims. So Allah has mandated and commanded those, the old age who have attained the age of senility, to feed those people who are less privileged during the month of Ramadan. That will be what? In substitute for their own fasting. With that, they also have the same reward as those who has what? Who has fasted in the month of Ramadan. The last people that are exempted from fasting are the children. As we all know, the children, they know less. Most of them don't know the difference between right and wrong, when they are what they are meant to do and not what they are meant to do. For instance, now a child of 5 years that you ask to fast, maybe when the child went out to go and play around with his peer groups, funniest thing is tasty enough, just take water and drink. Doesn't know the conditions and the things that guide the rules and regulations guiding Ramadan. Just like we are also fasting, you're also fasting. Like mom and dad were saying, we are fasting. So children who have not attained the age of puberty or the age of maturity, or the age at which they understand the rules and regulations guiding fasting in the month of Ramadan, are also exempted from fasting in the month of Ramadan. Because children of 4-5 years, if you ask them to, children of 4-5 years, that you ask to fast in the month of Ramadan, be like, mommy, okay, when after he has taken his sahur at home and he left to school, you don't know what he's going to do. Probably someone might bring food to school or something, even though we will not give him anything from home. Tell him that don't break your fast, don't take this, don't take that. Due to his playfulness or his forgetfulness, when he gets to school, collects from his friends, do this and that, which it is not what? It is not right Islamically. So due to that, they are exempted from fasting in the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we give thanks to Almighty Allah who makes this section a blissful one, and we ask Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our salat, our siyam, as an act of ibadah, and it should not deprive us the reward in this hereafter, and in the graveyard. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم تقبل صلاتنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وصيامنا وكل عبادتنا يا الله. اللهم اغفر لأموات المسلمين يا الله. اللهم انصر سلطاننا وول ولانا خيارنا ولا تولي أمورنا شرارنا. اللهم اجعل بلدنا نيجيريا بلدنا آمنا يا الله. اللهم اجعل بلدنا نيجيريا بلدنا آمنا يا الله. اللهم اغفر لأموات المسلمين، اغفر لهم وارحمهم واعف عنهم. اللهم اجعل قبرهم روضة من رياض الجنة ولا تجعل قبرهم مغفرا من نفر النار يا الله. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم انصر أخانا في فلسطين وغزة وفي العراق وفي أفغانستان وكل بلد الإسلامية يا الله يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم اغفر جميع ذنوبنا، اغفر لنا وارحمنا واعف عنا، اغفر لنا وارحمنا واعف عنا يا الله. اللهم تقبل دعانا يا الله، تقبل كل عبادتنا يا الله. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم في العالمين انك حميد مجيد. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.